Round 4 of the 1985 World Championship for Grand Prix cars is the Monaco Grand Prix, here in the romantic and expensive Principality of Montecarlo. It's a very tight track, cramming into 2 miles, hairpins and steep hills, and always lots of hazards, and always an enormous audience who hang from the buildings and cram every single inch of Monte Carlo to get a good view. After qualifying, which is very important here because of the difficulty of overtaking, for the 3rd time running, Ayrton Senna with Lotus number 12 has taken pole position. 2nd quickest is Nigel Mansell with the Williams Honda. 3rd quickest Michele Alboreto with the Ferrari. 4th on the grid is Eddie Cheever, the American who lives in Italy, with his Alfa Romeo. On the 3rd row, 5th quickest Alain Prost with the McLaren, and 6th quickest Thierry Boutsen with the Arrows BMW. On row 4, Keke Rosberg in the Williams and Andrea de Cesaris in the Ligier. Only 20 cars are allowed to start at Monte Carlo because of the tightness of the circuit, so 6 cars have failed to qualify: the Rams, one of the Tyrrells, the Azella, the 2nd Brabham and the Minardi. But Toleman have reappeared in Grand Prix racing, and Theo Fabi is the 20th qualifier with the Toleman Hart. At the start, into the lead, goes the Lotus of Ayrton Senna, with Nigel Mansell slotting into 2nd place in the Williams ahead of the Ferrari of Alboreto. As usual, there's an accident at the back. Stefan Johansson's Ferrari is pushed out of the way by Berger's Arrows. And also involved is the Renault of Patrick Tambay. That's Patrick Tambay's Renault, and all 3 cars are out of the race, although Stefan Johansson does keep going for a little while. Meanwhile, at the front, in the lead, it's Senna's Lotus from Mansell's Williams. 3rd is Alboreto's Ferrari. 4th, Prost's McLaren. 5th, Cheever's Alfa Romeo. 6th, Elio De Angelis and the 2nd Lotus. 7th is Boutsen's Arrows, and 8th, Keke Rosberg. That is Stefan Johansson in the red Ferrari struggling round as we see a replay of the accident. And you see Johansson's Ferrari up in the air, punted up by Berger's Arrows, which then goes in the air itself. Berger on the right, Tambay on the left, walk away after the accident. Senna is pulling away a healthy lead from Mansell, Alboreto, Prost, Cheever, De Angelis, Boutsen and Rosberg. But Mansell comes under threat from Alboreto, who very quickly goes through, twitching under braking, to take 2nd place at sound of vote. Prost is still 4th from Cheever and De Angelis. Now that Alboreto has got his Ferrari in 2nd place, he starts to close on the leading Lotus. This is Senna at the Casino Square. And there's the Ferrari. But Johansson in the other Ferrari is back in the pits. A change of tyres doesn't really help. Senna at the Rascasse hairpin, followed by Alboreto. Senna at the Gasworks corner, followed by Alboreto. But Senna seems to be able to keep the Ferrari behind him. Mansell is less fortunate. He loses 3rd place to Alain Prost. Cheever and De Angelis follow. But Alboreto goes into the lead when Senna's car starts to smoke. Prost soon follows past. Senna's engine has blown up. Further down the field, Patrese and Piquet are disputing 9th place. Patrese in the green Alfa Romeo is challenged by Piquet in the white Brabham as they come up to sound a vote. The 2 cars collide. Piquet gets out of his car, which only has 1 wheel left, and is obviously unhurt. Patrese is helped out by the marshals, and he too is uninjured. He goes across to Piquet, and the 2 shake hands. A lot of oil has been left on the road, and the leader Alboreto skids up the escape road and comes to a complete halt. While he's finding reverse gear, Prost goes through in the lead. But Alboreto rejoins in second place and follows Prost up the hill. We see the accident again. Piquet is squeezed between the Alfa Romeo and the barrier. Behind them, the Ligier of Lafitte spins harmlessly out of the way. The next casualty is Niki Lauda, who also skids on the oil. He calls it a day. Piquet's wrecked Brabham is dragged away by the crane. Prost comes through in the lead ahead of Alboreto. But Alboreto has closed right up on him. They go towards the now treacherously slippery Sainte-Devote, where the accident has left a lot of oil. Alboreto goes round the outside of the McLaren and retakes the lead. So now it's Alboreto's Ferrari first, Alain Prost's McLaren second, with Elio De Angelis a distant third in his Lotus. Fighting for fourth place are the Williams of Keke Rosberg, the Ligier of Andrea De Cesaris, and the Renault of Derek Warwick. Rosberg leads them up the hill from Sainte-Devote. Now Alain Prost has caught up with leader Alboreto once more. Alboreto has clipped a curb with his left-hand rear wheel, and the tyre is losing air. Prost goes by into the lead, while Alboreto struggles on towards the pits. So as Prost goes on his way with a now comfortable lead, into the pits for a tyre change goes Alboreto. The car is stationary for 15 seconds, but by the time it comes out of the pits, it's more than half a minute behind the leader, and Alboreto has dropped to fourth place. Prost is still the leader in the McLaren number 2. Elio De Angelis is second, but quickly Alboreto catches him up again and is challenging to get his second place back. He does it coming up to Sainte-Devote, just squeezing between the Lotus and the barrier. So the Ferrari is second once more. Alain Prost goes on his victorious way. Towards the end of the race, the weather deteriorates and there are a few spots of rain on the very oily rubber street circuit. Prost slows right down, but even so he's able to come home 7.5 seconds ahead of the gallant Alboreto, who had to work so hard for his second place. It's Alain Prost's second win of the year and puts him back up to second place in the World Championship. Jackie Ickx, the race director, flags them home. Michele Alboreto second, Elio De Angelis third, with De Cesaris, Warwick and Lafitte taking the remaining championship points, all a lap behind. In the World Championship, De Angelis has a 2-point lead over Prost and Alboreto, with Patrick Tambay a distant fourth with 10 points. In the Constructors' Championship, Lotus have a useful 7-point lead over Ferrari, who are 1 point ahead of McLaren.
De Formule 1 au 397e Grand Prix depuis la création du championnat.